Analyzing text. I have huge amount of text, maybe like we have 200 lines, but I want to get the summary in 20 lines. Apart from that, I also want to know we can have different type of text every day, as I mentioned. Very first thing, I want to find out the language. Think about a call center where call center guys are getting a lot of input from the different part of the world. Very first thing, like I want to know what language is that, right? Either German, Spanish, Chinese, Polish, right? So we can have a lot of things. So apart from that, we can have a lot of things. Just we'll see quickly what we can do. Very first, detect language, right? I want to detect the language. What language is this? I discussed about important words as well, like what are the important word in the text. Maybe I'm not interested in all, but I want to find out all the important words in the given text. I want to get the sentiment as we discussed, positive, negative, or neutral. Nowadays, PII is very popular in US. Everyone is talking about privacy of the data. How I can find all the private information that can be related to name, age, salary. Like I want to detect those things. I mentioned about summarization. Out of 200, I want to get 20 lines or 200 words. Summary. We also discussed about entities, person or organization, email, URL, anything is here. We can get that. But sometimes we have ambiguity in that. For example, if I'm saying about bank, I said bank, I want to go to bank, but now I'm on picnic. I'm talking about river bank. My machine need to understand what was the context. And when we have this kind of confusion or ambiguity, I want to give linked entity. Linked entity means I want to get a URL, Wikipedia link. So we can also generate for giving the more clarity about the answer. And finally, I can translate text, right? So translating from one language to other. So we can go with portal, right? We may go with SDK or REST API, right? Very simple question. I keep on saying the again and again, like whenever we need to implement anything, we may go with different ways. Either I can have something on the portal, right? Simple way, I'm just talking about it. We can go with SDK, we can go with REST API, right? So we can follow any of the way, right? So normally I try to give you all the reference so that you can remember these all things. Okay, like whenever we do that, we can go with portal. I can use my Python or C# for implementation of it. We will have something like that in my lab as well. And REST where we can use endpoint directly. And if you want to use these all things, you can use either curl statement or you may go with postman kind of thing, right? By that you can implement. So we don't have a lot of demos related to it, but you may use that one directly. By doing the practice, we have all the extra links. I would suggest you to just try to implement by your way because I cannot cover each and everything in step by step. First, you try to implement the labs, then after try to do on the REST APIs, try to study more content. But I will try to give you more idea about that. Very first, like on the portal, you can find we have a separate language cognitive studio to which we normally call language studio, right? In this studio, you may go directly and you can perform all the basic tasks. Just like here in the Vision Studio we had, right? In the Vision Studio, we had the basic operation that we can perform directly. I was talking about caption, dense caption, by analyzing the image. We had a lot of things. Similarly, you says, okay, I want to do classify text. You want to extract the information. I said about PII, personal information. You say key phrases. What is key phrase? Okay, I want to use this text. For example, I have this email with me, right? I have this email ID and I will acknowledge and will run what I want to do. Out of this data, I want to find out all the important words. Please pay attention. I am talking about key phrase and key phrase means important word in the given text. So what I have done on the portal, I am going to bring my some data and then after I want to extract important word. It found out key phrases, Santa Monica Pier, many good things, great things, some name is here, some address is also here, turf petters, blah, blah. We have a lot of things. And we got all these key phrases here in this form, right? So you may try these kind of things directly here. You says, okay, that's fine. Can you find out entity out of the text? Yes, we can find entity. We just discussed like entity refers to the person name or any organization name. We can bring that. I have again some text with me, right? And we said we want to try linked entity, right? And with the entity, I said linked. That means I am talking about Wikipedia link, right? So in this case, you can just see we have credit card, and on the basis of it, I got. So here we have some text with me, right? In this text, we are trying to find out entities. So these are the entity that we are going to get. But with that, we are going to get the Wikipedia link. Once I'm going to click on it, it will give me Wikipedia link as well related to this word. I have some text here with me. So this text is in French. Bonjour, c'est a phrase est in Francisca, something like that. Okay, please find out to give me the language. This is French. And confidence score is 100%. Okay, can you show me some other? So right now, this is Chinese. We have some Chinese word is here, right? We wanted to find out detect language. It says Chinese simplified. We got that. Right. Similarly, if you would like to perform many other operations, like as we discussed, we have something understanding the question answer. You want to create a custom question answer or basic question answer, you can perform. You says about summarization of your information. Maybe like you have your number of sentences. Maybe I just want to get 3 specific summary. I don't want. So maybe like I have some text here with me, right? And I want to get the summary of it. So you may just check, like it will help us to give you a summary of the given text. I got summary. So we got summary that we were expecting. So we got that. So this is depending upon your text, like how big or how much lines you want to get, how much words you want to get, we can do that, right? We got 2 extractive and abstractive as well. Right now we got both. So extractive is something produces summary by extracting salient sentence within the document, while abstractive with novel sentence for a document, right? So we'll discuss more about that one. What is these things? But yes, you want to get the summary, you can extract easily just by providing your all input data, and then after you can get the summary. You may have one question like, hey, we are taking the default data. No worries, you can just bring your own data as well, right? Just by clicking on browse for a file, we can use any outside data as well. So ultimately, why we are talking about all these things, so that you must have the basic idea. And we were also talking about this all stuff so that you can get the idea, yes, we can implement it by the portal. We used to call client method, right? We discussed about this syntax for performing these kind of tasks. And in this syntax, we need to get my client object. And for getting my client object, I need to talk about any corresponding client class, right? And I need to provide my keys and endpoint. I need to pass my key object and endpoint object, right? So once you will have client object with you, so you can perform this operation by calling the corresponding method. I can do client dot method name, whatever the x underscore method, whatever the operation you want to do, and you may provide the input. So by this way, you can perform your SDK. Right now, this SDK can be done by this particular way. For example, we are talking about text analytic client, right? I want to do text analysis. And for this, we discuss in very first lab in first module, text analysis client. And once we will have this class, text analysis client, I can provide my credential, right? And I will get my client. And now client, with the help of this client object for my text analysis, what type of operation I can do? Hey, I can perform detect language. I can talk about extract key phrase. I can get sentiment, get summarization, get entity, or where you will call. You will call on client. Means client dot get language, client dot extract key phrase, client dot get sentiment, client dot get summary. I just need to change my method. Are you getting? So you just need to pass this input. By only 2-line statement, I can perform all of these operations here. Okay, apart from that, third is REST API. Again, I need to go in my Postman and I need to call I need to call, corresponding endpoint. So for example, if you want to perform, for example, text analysis, I am just calling and trying to find out how I can perform these all things. Just going on random link here, we can have the different way to performing these all things. But whenever you want to do, you can go directly on these things. You may get some basic operation not in this. For example, and apart from that, I may try Azure speech to text, for example. I'm just talking about one example, like whenever you want to perform, you will find the corresponding links here for performing these things. So for example, right now I have this link for batch. Even this is also not the correct one. I was struggling a lot when I was implementing first time. It will be not correct, but yes, I tell you how you will perform that. So see, like here, so for example, like right now, this is Postman for you. You can download this application or you can use online, but better to download. I knowingly didn't download it that one, but you can download this one. So very first, for example, this is your URL, right? This is your URL that you can copy. Basically, this is the URL here for performing some tasks, right? So I can copy this one and I can bring this one here. Just you can choose either you want to do get or post, and my endpoint can be passed here. With the help of this, still it is not complete because I need to include my endpoint in the beginning. How can I do that? I need to go here. I need to make it complete endpoint by adding this URL. Now this is my complete URL for performing TTS. TTS is text to speech, right? This is my endpoint. I'm just telling you a basic idea of why I'm discussing about all this stuff, because I just want to show like how you can perform all these three tasks. We have already discussed about portal and SDK. Third way is REST endpoint. So my purpose was to discuss here, like whenever you want to perform these all tasks, once again, I was discussing, we have the three different ways for performing these all operations. You can choose any one, right? You says, I am not aware about the language. Okay, you can use the portal, right? You says, okay, I know these things in the lab also, Microsoft prefer to go with SDK, we can go. You says, in my industry, in my company, I have a use case that I need to implement. You may use the REST API, right? So coming back to the main point, like what we were discussing, we were talking about very first lesson. So this is something we want to perform. But I asked a simple question in the beginning, what do you understand with text analysis? I have my text document with me, right? In this text document, I have some text data that you can find. Some text is here with us, for example, right? Out of this text, I want to do analysis. We discussed very first, we want to detect the language, right? I can detect, like in the given text that you have right now, in this, the language is English. Without checking, means like your AI solution will help you to tell about that, right? We can do. Next thing is to find out, the key phrases. Key phrase means important words. Out of the document, you have the news, New York. These are the important important word information or important talking words are there. Then after entity, we discuss entity basically refers to your name or organization name, any person name, any email ID, this kind of thing. And finally, we have sentiment. I have this document with me in which we have a lot of reviews out there. I want to know whether first review is positive, negative, or neutral. This will give me, right? Apart from all these four important things that we are talking, we can have a summarization to find out summary of it. PII detection is also here. We can also implement PII by the same way as I was discussing. Get the client object, client.method name, you can extract. We will see this kind of thing in the lab as well. Right, guys? But again, as we have discussed, like if you want to implement these things, we have these labs, these portals are there. You can just try that one directly by going on to the language studio. And please pay attention. Whenever you are going to perform these things, sometimes you may be encountering some issue. So make sure you are in the correct directory. If not, you can just select the correct resource that you need to create, maybe like your AI service. And in language resource, it's better to create your language service. What I mean? So whenever you want to use that, you just need to go back on the portal first. Make sure you must have your AI resource or any language resource with you, right? You can go into the search area, and then after you can go in the marketplace, and you can just check, do you have any language service there with you? So you can just check, I have language service as well. But you says, no worries, I just want to create once again. I would like to go to the language. No problem. You can just click on create button. You can go to the marketplace and search for language service. Why we are talking about this thing? Because we want to perform these operations related to Language Studio in this environment. And it will very first ask me about my AI service or language service. I just need to select, right? So that's why I am trying to create this service here. Need to click on the language service. It will redirect me to the form. I need to go and need to select it, right? So once you will do that, you will be able to find. So, if still you are not able to find that, you have this setting button here. In the setting button, you can just check this. Am I in the right directory? Or am I in the right resource? Do we have these resources? So you can see these are enabled. I have the three different resources are there. You will have only one. You can select that and you can proceed with it, right? And close it. That's it. After that, you can perform all these operations step by step. Extracting, classify, question answering, summarization, even translation you want to do, you can do so, right? So this is the very first way, like if you want to perform all of these tasks, you can perform with the help of portal, right? Another way, we have discussed about SDK, right? I gave the very basic idea, like if you want to perform these all things, we can go with simple SDK. And for SDK, we have normal syntax, client.method name. Which client is required for performing this operation, like detecting language and other? Which class should I need? Text analysis, right? Definitely it is a part of language, but right now this lesson or the operation that we want to do is text analysis, right? We have different classes under the language. So text analysis also coming under the language. But I'm talking about all these operations that relate to text analysis. And for this, we have also seen the same thing in the first lab by using the SDK. The very first lab we did with the same. And we are also talking about the same thing. And we discussed about text analytic client. We need to pass my endpoint, right? We need to pass my endpoint. We also need to pass my key object here, complete key object, which will help us to provide the client object. Is it okay? This is the same thing. I am keep on talking again and again. I am going to generate a client object. And once I have client object, I need to call corresponding method. Just like for getting the language, I will call this method detect_language. And we did the same thing in the first lab. Basically, it was second lab. First was test. So we did the second lab related to the same and passing my input data. Similarly, if I am talking about key phrase, I need to get my client, the same client, and extract key phrase. I want to get sentiment, analyze sentiment. I need to pass my input data inside this. I need to get my entities, client.recognize entity, and similarly client.recognize entity, right? So guys, we made it very simple. Like if I want to perform any of operation related to text analysis, I just need to get my client object and then after client.method name. So we are talking about AI language services. And under this, we first want to talk about text analysis. And for text analysis, we can have a lot of things that we can do. Either I'm talking about detecting language, key phrase, entity, sentiment. Now, why I'm talking about these things again and again? And I want, like, you should understand, because in the exam, you can have various scenario-based questions. They may ask you, hey, my client want to extract all the talking points that is given by in the mail, and I want to extract what type of operation or what type of method should I use? You will say talking point, important word, it will be key phrase. Sometimes it can give you some code, and in the code, he will say what type of operation he is doing, or what is the correct method that should be relating with this scenario. If you understand, the client is talking about important words, and for important word, we have corresponding method related to key phrase. You can just choose the right code. Getting? If he is talking about entities, entity linking, or in the scenario he is talking, the client want to get the some more explanation about given output. He wants some links related to it. Whenever he is talking about links, entity link can be used. That's why I am emphasizing on only these words. And for performing all the operation, just to understand these all things, right? You need to get your client object and client dot. These all methods can help you, right? Just take a quick look how you can perform this. We have the very first lab here in this environment. So very first, I need to get my credentials. And we all know, like very first, if you want to perform these all operation, either you can use AI service, right? Or you can create this language service. We will come back again on this. You can create language service or your AI service. So right now I have my AI service with me, right? Once again, AI service is multi-service. So in the multi-service account, we know we have keys and endpoint. I just need to get these credentials. I can paste here. And then after for performing this task, I need to get these credentials in my code. I can get by, load underscore dot env. That will help us to get my credentials here. So right now, guys, if you will see, I want to do some analysis related to text, but where is the text? So you will find a folder here. I hope everyone can see the reviews. We have the 5 documents are there. In the first document, you can see we have some information related to some hotel reviews, right? So this is the hotel, and for hotel, clean rooms, good service, great location, Buckingham Palace, definitely London hotel, the Royal Hotel. I was just talking to my friend, he's in London, and he's also giving training related to Gen AI things. So total old hotel this time, the old room furnishing average becoming a bit old, something like seems to be negative. So just like here we have some reviews, I want to do analysis on this. So what I need to do by using this for loop, can I bring all of this text data out, right? I want like under this for loop, this is a loop. I will extract this directory, this folder. What is the folder? Review underscore folder. That is this one, right? I will open this folder and I will extract the first file, because by default it will have all the file. It will by default it will take the first file, then second file, then third, and so on. Once I will have my file with me, I will extract all the information out of it. Means open function. We have also discussed about open function earlier. This will help me to open the file, whatever the file I have. It will be open and will help us to extract the data by read. So we will get this text till the point we will print that, right? Once we will have my text data with me, just check it out first. How we are going to get that. This is the file. Going to click on terminal and Python, and my file name is textanalysis.py. So when I'm going to extract this all information, I will be expecting it should show my review, means like my text data, right? I got this information here. So you can find 3, 2. Here we have one. Taking the reverse, don't know why. Need to check again. But you can just find out, like here we have text 1. This all information is here related to it. After getting this information here that we have extracted, and how we extract it by using this for loop. This for loop helped us to extract this all information. Then after I got my client object, as I discussed, We have text analytic client. We are passing endpoint, we are passing key, and we will get my client object. And using this client, I want to detect the language. I'm using the same method as I discussed in that document and passing my text. What is this text? So this is my input data, the very first file, because still it is in for loop. All the code is in for loop. So it will extract only the first file, and this first file is in this text. And this text we are passing here. So once you will pass, you will get the detected language. That is why in the bottom you can find we got this review, and for review, language colon English. It will be printing the language colon, after that the value, this curly braces is indicating you need to add the output in this area. And how it will get the output? Detected language dot primary language dot name. So because this output will be in JSON, but out of JSON, you want to extract exact name. So it will be done with the help of primary language dot name. That's why we got the output through it English, and it is going to show you English, right? So important thing is these two lines. Like if you want to develop your own solution, you can do it with the help of client.detect language. It will give you the output. And we know, like out of JSON data, how can you extract the desired output? But any JSON data, if I want to extract, we can do dot 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 whatever the result you want to get. So this is the same thing we were doing. Second thing, we want to get the sentiment. Again, client.analyze sentiment, passing my same review one. And for the first review, I want to get the sentiment. So first review was positive. He was talking the positive things in the first review. Same as we want to get my key phrases. Hey, can you find out key phrases for me? We have client with us. Client dot extract key phrase. I want to get key phrase means important word. It will extract, but out of this, it will give me the output in JSON form. Out of JSON, if I want to extract, I need to apply one more for loop for extracting all the values, because it's not only one key phrase. So I hope everyone can see at the bottom. We have the Royal Hotel, good service, great location. You can recall this review. This was review one. Clean room, good service, great location. So it found this all Buckingham Palace, something out of that. Enjoyed our stay, and this was peaceful. So these all things will be extracted in the review one as key phrase, right? So we got this result at the bottom. Similarly, you says, what else? We want to get the entities only. Don't talk about linked entity. I am just talking about recognized entity only. So again, client dot recognize entity. I am passing my input data, and it will extract all the entities for us. So staff, Royal Hotel, London, UK, date, this is Buckingham Palace. So we have location name, we have person name, we have date time. These all things are entity, and we are able to extract these all by calling the entities here. And once this entity is coming, it's in JSON form. And again, for extracting multiple entities in this object, we need to execute another loop, right? We can get these all entities, right? Then after we have done with that, maybe like linked entities here, yeah. So with that, I also want to get not recognized entity, this time recognize linked entity. That means I am expecting some Wikipedia link for getting the better result, right? So maybe good music, I got Wikipedia link, hotel, Royal Hotel, London, Buckingham Palace, right? I got all these links here, right? And you can just check, Microsoft had direct collaboration with Wikipedia. That's why we just send the input and extract that the corresponding link, and that can be visible here directly, right? So maybe like this is only the way, like if you want to use this service, you can use that. Otherwise, you want to bring it from own knowledge base, as Dan said, you can also do that, but in custom. We can also bring here, we can write, a custom function here that will be passing, only my important word, maybe good music. You will send in your own function, and you will write a separate mechanism to extract the related information from your own knowledge base. We can do that, but you need to do separate, you need to write separate mechanism. So guys, we have just discussed about all this stuff related to the first lesson here, in which we were talking about multiple operations related to text analysis, right? We have this text, we got language, key phrase, entity, sentiment, summarization. These all things can be done by the same way. So guys, we have discussed these all things with the help of portal and SDK. With the help of what are these all these things, just take a quick look once again. We discussed about language detection. So determine the language in which text it is written. So as I mentioned, like you will get the result in JSON output. You have your input data. For example, this time the first document is containing hello world, right? Second is bonjour l'autre monde. So this is the input. And when I talk about this language detection, it is going to give me the answer here as English, right? All right, so guys, I got my result here as English, right, for the first input, while for second one, it is French. Right there we have this French. But with this English and French, we are also able to see some ISO code. For English EN, for French, it is FR, right? With that confidence score, one means 100% here. In this case also, he is 100% sure, like this particular text is French, right? So you will get these kind of results, language detection. While key phrase, we discussed all the important words or talking points. So this works best with larger document up to 5120 characters. Approximately 5,000 characters can be there in your text document. It will perform well, but once you will increase, sometimes its efficiency may be down. But now definitely it will be increased because this is an old figure. But once we are using a lot of GenAI based model at the back, definitely its efficiency will be increased now. But I have not tried. I used to implement these things with the rest only. So there we have this text here. Now these text this time in English, we have one more text is here. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Now, out of this document, we want to extract key important word. Change and word are the important word out of this. Change and the word. While in this case, we have key phrases here. Miles, single step journey. So you can just say journey is here. Million step, million miles are there, or single step. So my model found these three important words in the given text. So with that sentiment, as I discussed, this sentiment can be positive, negative, or neutral. So if in some sentences are simple, it can give you the result directly. But sometimes, like all the sentences, maybe multiple sentences are there, all are neutral. So it can give you the neutral only. So positive and neutral, positive. Negative and neutral, negative, definitely. But in the case of positive and negative, it will say mixed. Right now, let's say like we have two sentences, so two lines are there. Smile, life is good, means assuming. So the overall, this sentence seems to be very positive, right? So, but the positive, according to model, is 99% sure, like this text is positive, 0.01 neutral, and 0% negative. But here, if you would like to get both the sentences separately, so the first portion here is for specifically smile. Similarly, we will have another portion here for life. Life is good. So you will get separately also if you want to get the offset, you want to get length of the words. So you will get a lot of information related to your lines or the input text. Make sense? Sentiment. That was positive, negative, neutral, and one more mixed. We also discussed about named entity recognition. So we also call NER in NLP. So we discussed like if you want to group all these category or subcategory, so we can extract these all things, be a person, location, date, time, organization, address, email, URL. I showed two examples. One was with portal, another one was with SDK. In both the cases we have seen, it was able to detect all the entities with its type. For example, when I was talking about these all things as entities, we got this is person type. Royal Hotel is a location. This is date time. So we will get all of these categories as well in these scenarios, right? So with that, if you want to provide some Wikipedia link with it, so we can have this Wikipedia link can be added with your result. So this is being used for this ambiguity. Like sometimes some words gives some ambiguity, means we can have more than one result. So in those cases, we can go with this example. Like Venus, a planet or a goddess, it can be both. So Wikipedia provides the knowledge base, the default knowledge base from the Wikipedia, and it will add these links. So if the text was, I saw Venus shining in the sky, so they definitely shining in the sky is referring to some planet. So it is just going to give related link to the planet. If you say Venus, the goddess of beauty, this time this Venus is referring to the goddess. And for this, we will have different Wikipedia link, right? So this is the beauty. Like in case you want to include some links related to this Wikipedia, we can do that. So these all things can be done quickly as we discussed, and by that way we can get all the links here. In next example, I saw Venus shining in the sky. The above one is here, so you can see our result is again in JSON form, right? In this JSON form, you can see it will be providing this URL here, right, related to your given input. So we can perform all of these operations related to text analysis by using text analytic lines. Another one, we discussed summarization. I also showed you summarization in the portal. So if you have some big text data, like here, we can have maybe like long paragraph about Microsoft and technology. You can just do that. You can extract the summary of it. So it will give you the whole summary, maybe like you are just talking about with some sentence document count, as we gave the 3 lines earlier. You can specify and you may get that result here. So maybe like the summary is coming with rank. So you can have the multiple result with some ranking because of 0.71 ranking, like it is just going to give you. Other is coming with 0.67. You can just refer, like if the first is not okay, you can go to the second one, but it will give you that summary that you want to extract. And in this summary, we discuss the 2 type of summary types are there. One is extractive and one is abstractive. So we discussed this produce summary by the most important sentence. Extractive is indicating to the most important sentence in the given paragraph, while abstractive, as the name indicates, is produce a summary capturing the main idea, but not necessarily using the same word. It may use more creative words. It may use out of the box word which is not present in your text document, but will try to give you the more better explanation. So you may try like what type of result you would like to see, either abstractive or extractive. But whenever you want to hit, you can provide your all input data. You can call any corresponding method or by the portal if you're doing. In both cases, you will get these type of results. So we have discussed all these 3 things by all 3 ways. Like you can perform all these different tasks with the portal, with SDK, and with the REST as well.
Thank you so much for staying with us till the end of the video. Now all you have to do is just click the link in the description below, or if you are starting out, just type k21academy.com/AzureAIML02. Now enter your name, enter your email ID, enter phone number and click on book your free seat now. Then you will be taken to a free page. Now you can add this session to your Google Calendar or Apple Calendar, and I promise this is something that you don't want to miss. So go ahead, click on the link and step into the world where learning knows no boundaries. Till then, keep enjoying. I'll see you in the next video.